You Orns. Greetings, fellow Watford fans. Omar here, and it's time for another edition of the You Orns Friday Focus on Watford versus Blackburn Rovers that takes place tomorrow at Vicarage Road as Watford return from the international break, and they'll be facing an old friend in Valérien Ismaël, the former Watford manager, back in the early part of 2024, that's just last year. And they will also have, watching this game, Sir Elton John as we kickstart the year-long celebration of Elton John's 50-year association with Watford Football Club. And of course, we certainly hope that the lads get the job done, not only for Elton John, but of course for themselves and the entire Watford faithful, as Vicarage Road will certainly be a fever pitch place to be tomorrow. Look, I don't expect Valérien Ismaël to get the nicest welcome back, although he might get a hand from some of the Watford supporters, but all systems will be go tomorrow as Watford take on a Blackburn side that have a number of injuries, including two of their midfielders, and also some departures of a number of players over the last few weeks and months who have left the club, which really puts Blackburn, a team that can be kind of yo-yo-ish, if you will, for lack of a better term, throughout their time in a season. They're either hit or miss. Blackburn have been like that for a while, and they might well be facing that again. They've started this season losing three of their first four matches. Watford have lost just one of their first four matches. But Watford now currently are three unbeaten. They'll look to make it four tomorrow against the Blackburn side that will still be a test for Watford. And I say test because you never know what kinds of tricks an ex-manager has up his sleeve. But look, a lot has changed since Valérien Ismaël left Watford, or was sacked essentially by Watford in that early part of 2024, around March of that year. And since then, there's been two Watford head coaches, which includes the current Watford head coach, Paolo Pezzolano, who is beginning to build things here. Watford will have one or two players out, but they'll also have the prospect of Matty Pollock being named to the starting lineup. We'll see if that happens. There will be, of course, the suspension, the third game of that three-game ban for Imran Louza. There will be Nampalys Mendes, who still will not be able to be back in the team. Papa Mendes is still working his way back from injury, as is Georgie Chakvetazda and one or two other players, including Caleb Wiley. But also, Pierre Duomo is getting closer to being part of Watford again. That's really, really good news. But we will have a couple of players who will play, although Jeremy Ngaki will also not be one of them, which makes it me think that the other Jeremy, and I forget his last name all of a sudden. I don't know why. I have forgotten his last name. But the other Jeremy is expected, I would say, to start at right back tomorrow for Pezzo's Hornets. Now, this game, well, Watford at home against Blackburn have been very interesting. They won last time they played them at Vicarage Road. The season before that, they lost to them at the Vic. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's a difficult call to make because, Watford were going fairly well these three games before this one, as I said, unbeaten. Then the international break comes along, 2 weeks off from playing club football, and you never know how the lads are going to react coming off that 2 week break. Well, listen, most of the lads were playing in international football. I have no doubt that Iran Kunda will be back to his very, very best with Watford tomorrow. I don't doubt that will be true of a number of other players, but of course, the theme is the same at Watford. Our club, our lads, have to get off to a good start. Our lads just have to get off to a good start tomorrow against this tricky Blackburn Rovers side, who are going to be putting everything on the table against us. We're going to have to get started and get started well. And of course, we're going to have to be able to suffer and game manage well. We will see if that happens tomorrow. I have a sneaky feeling that Watford will manage to put one over Blackburn, beating a former Watford manager and saluting a Watford legend and icon, Elton John. I think that's on the cards tomorrow. I go with a 2-1 Watford win against Blackburn Rovers. This has been the You Orns Friday Focus.